Let's go ahead and talk about what, in my opinion, is one of the best African cichlids for beginners, the yellow lab, or Labidochromis caeruleus. With its bright yellow colors and black dorsal fin, it has the color to rival any of the fish in the saltwater world. And from an African cichlid perspective, it's one of the most peaceful species. So let's learn how to take care of this beautiful yellow fish. The yellow lab is an Mbuna species and is native to Lake Malawi in Africa, where they live in deeper rocky waters or in shallow areas amongst Vallisneria fields. These fish get to be about 4 to 5 inches long and live at your tropical temperatures between 75 to 80 degrees. Since they do come from Lake Malawi, they do like a higher pH and hard water. My yellow labs currently live in a pH of 7.8 to 8. Since Mbuna are known to be more aggressive than your community type fish, I definitely would recommend putting them in a tank that's 55 gallons or larger. You also want to provide them with plenty of rock work, plenty of hiding spaces, and line of sight blocks to avoid aggression. I personally like to keep Vallisneria as a line of sight block in my African cichlid tanks, but you can use a variety of different things like plastic plants or rock work. The idea behind the line of sight block is to make it so that any one fish can't see the entire tank and single out another fish for aggression. This also allows a fish that is being chased and harassed to easily slip out of sight of the aggressor. In terms of tank mates, your yellow labs will get along with most of your more peaceful type Mbuna species, but pairing them with purple acei is one of my favorites. Now, one thing you will want to keep in mind with these fish is you want to avoid unwanted hybrids. So I would avoid putting them with other Mbuna species of the genus Labidochromis. As we did mention Vallisneria earlier, I do want to talk about plants for a moment. Many people say that you can't put African cichlids with plants, but I've had great luck with Vallisneria. Not only do these plants offer some greenery and beauty to your tank, but they also help with filtration by eating up the nitrates in the tank as food. So you can definitely try putting plants in your African cichlid tank, but you would need to be prepared for it possibly not to work out. So when you head to the fish store to look for your new yellow labs, you want to make sure you start out with the best possible specimens. You want to avoid fish that have lesions, white spots, weird growths, or any other physical abnormality when choosing your fish. This not only goes for the fish that you're picking out, but also any of the other fish in the tank. Another thing you definitely do want to avoid when picking out yellow labs is you want to make sure that they're the correct colors. Due to the hybridization that's occurred with a lot of the Mbuna species, there are some yellow lab genetics that have been muddied quite badly. I've even seen some fish at auctions that are actually more orange than yellow. So what you want to look for is a nice bright yellow fish, and make sure there's a significant amount of black on the finnage. If they look any different than that, I would definitely move on to a different store and purchase a different group of yellow labs. In the wild, yellow labs, as well as other Mbunas, spend their days picking around the algae on the rockwork. In the aquarium, I like feeding them heavily with vegetable-based foods like spirulina flakes and other veggie-based cichlid foods. I personally like the extreme spirulina flake and the Northfin veggie pellets. They do get some protein-based food as well, but feed that food sparingly to avoid bloating. One thing to keep in mind when keeping yellow labs, or for that matter, any other African cichlid, is filtration. These fish are messier and generally produce more waste than your typical community type fish. To combat this, I would highly recommend doing either a hang-on back filter, sump, or canister filter. If properly maintained, these filters can handle the waste that African cichlids produce and keep your tank and your fish healthy. So the yellow labs are maternal mouth brooders, meaning that after they spawn, the females will actually hold the eggs in their mouth for 21 days before they release the fry. What you'll notice is the fish's buccal cavity, which is right below its mouth, will be puffed out compared to the other fish in the tank. Once you see it once, it's pretty easy to see. A lot of African cichlid breeders will actually strip the females and tumble the eggs in an egg tumbler until the fry are born and can eat on their own. Once they're eating, the fry will take crushed up flake food, micro pellets, and even brine shrimp. Within a few months, your fish will be of a size where they can be sold or put back into the main display tank with their parents.